Hi, my name is Ollie, and this is my fine co-host,
Catherine. You
Catherine,
can call me Cat. There we go.
and
Gotcha.
we're from the Anime Village Club,
Hmm.
and we're doing our podcast, which is called "That's What We're Saying."
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Our podcast is about, we just talk to the community about anime and manga, anything related, to get closer to people around us.
As well as like otaku culture, everything in that jazz. Because we're our club, we talk about all sorts of cultures, anime culture, and how we connect with everyone. We connect with the
We like to
community,
allow
pretty
community.
much. So
Pretty much this interview, we're gonna ask you a few questions, and hopefully we can.
and connect and pretty much be like connect and stuff like that. Cause like everyone want to know about you. Everybody wants to know about our club as well. So yeah. So today our guest is Desmond. Yes. And Desmond, what do you do for HCC pretty much?
I'm the Associate Vice Chancellor of College Readiness. And what that means is that the Division of College Readiness, where we have several different deans and departments, report up to me. So we help students get into the college. I'm over dual credit, adult education and literacy, developmental courses. I'm over several other programming. So a lot. I try to help as many people and students as I can.
Oh, that's nice. That's awesome. Like so, pretty much, you help pretty much with the community pretty much and with the college pretty much. Yeah.
Right. So basically what I'm doing, okay, is to give you some idea of the college, you have the chancellor,
Mhm.
vice chancellor, associate vice chancellors, then
Ah.
dean. So to give you, and you have presidents up there with the senior, with the vice chancellors. So again, it gives me an ability to do a lot, but I've been at the college for a while and been in higher ed for a while. So and again, of course, to stay on topic, and I've been into anime, probably you guys' entire lives.
Too long. Like, when do you think you first got into, like, really got into anime? Like, when, like, for you?
Well, anime as from childhood, you're in animation. Cartoons are mainly the first media that you are introduced to, as learning, interacting, engaging with various types of communities, and just understanding the world. So early on, I saw early iterations of what today is known as anime. Um,
Mm.
so, as a small child, you had different cartoons that would come on. Saturday mornings. They don't have those anymore. The Saturday morning block
Oh,
after
I miss
school.
those.
Um, yeah, and then you have shows that kind of preceded the anime genre, like the Godzilla movies, all of those Japanese type of sci-fi type things.
Yeah.
Speed Racer is an anime that you may be familiar with that I remember seeing as a child, and you would see the different types of art as opposed to American style or other types of cartoons,
Yeah, the
that
art.
were out of their time.
The art style, like I remember, like how different it is, especially the evolution of animation over time. Do you have any favorites? Like, any favorites personally for you, like anime?
Sure. Yeah, my favorite of all time would be Ninja Scroll. So
Ninja
if you've never seen
Scroll?
Ninja Scroll, yeah, not the series, the actual movie.
Oh.
Um, as a kid, during my generation, everyone loved martial arts. Bruce Lee was an idol to everybody in the 80s and 90s. So Ninja Scroll, no one differentiated the different types of martial arts from different cultures in Asia. So if you knew Kung Fu, you were a ninja. So when I saw Ninja Scroll when I was in college, it really spoke to that inner child, and it connected. But I also like episodic types of anime,
Mm.
things that last a long time. So One Piece would be a
You're
good
a One
example of
Piece
that.
fan over here. Are you up to date with the
Yeah,
manga anime?
yeah. Well, I don't really. My nephew and niece, they love manga.
Mm.
I've I'm more American style comics, so Marvel and
Ah.
DC. That's where I gravitate towards in regard
Mm.
to actual print. But the animation, in fact, just to do a quick crossover, if you've never seen it before, there are anime versions of Marvel films like
Oh, there's gonna
Bat
be
and DC.
there's gonna be, I know that in DC right now they're gonna have a new Harley Quinn isekai
It was
or
like Suicide
Suicide Squad.
Squad. Suicide
Yeah,
Squad,
so it's gonna be
exactly.
coming, and it said DC saying the next 10 years they're planning on putting a bunch of anime series out, whatever that
But
means.
wait, you have some that are out now that have been out for years. Like you have Batman Ninja, which you
Yeah,
can look at that on Max.
mm, hmm.
But there are some Marvel ones too that you may not be aware of, like Wolverine, Marvel Animation. They did a lot of, and it was a subgroup called Marvel Anime. And you can look it up on Wikipedia, but
I
I bought
remember
all
actually
those.
I grew up watching a lot of them because my dad used to like download a lot of those movies. Pretty much I remember a lot of Studio Madhouse, the same people who animated the first season of
Right,
One Punch Man and some of I think My Hero Academia, as well as a bunch of a lot of like
right.
2012, 2013 really popular anime series at the time. But yeah, I remember they were they also animated a bunch of DC films and stuff like that.
Well, I know they did a lot of Marvel. I'm not sure familiar with what they did with DC, but there are a lot of great films with those two comic book areas. And even in Houston, you may not be familiar with this, with the translation of manga and anime in the late 90s, early 2000s. There was a company called AD Vision that was
Oh,
located on the southwest side of Houston.
I didn't know it was in South. I just knew Houston. I not Houston. I just knew like Texas was big in the in like in the dubbing community. That's why I was even thinking about even doing like dubbing myself, being a voice
Right.
actor one day. So
Yeah, I think they're defunct or they moved somewhere since then. But you have even professors that work there here. Jennifer Vaca, she worked for AD Vision back at some point and did some of the the translations for the company. Houston has really been it may be seen like an emerging scene with the more modern type of anime, but from the time that I was in college in the mid '90s, it was a smaller enclave because of course you didn't have the Wi-Fi, the things to look at online, so you had to go actually rent things. Many of us who are of my same generation, we remember a place called Planet Anime. You ever heard of that?
I'm maybe I'm actually
I
originally from Maryland. I'm from
actually.
Maryland,
Well,
so like I come here
well
Houston 10 years ago. So
yeah, well, it was gone by then, but and you guys again are probably way too young. But Planet Anime was located in Rice Village, and in Rice Village, you could rent VHS tapes and DVDs of all of these anime films because they weren't on television here. You couldn't find them. And
mm,
that's the first time I was introduced into Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball.
mm,
And all of those, and you would see movies that were like The Ring before it was dubbed over in English. I
yeah.
watched it like maybe 2 years beforehand. Jet Li's The One. I mean, all of these films you would see years beforehand because they were foreign films that were coming to the US. But this place called Planet Anime, it was a hub for individuals like persons in your club right now. That was part of the the culture of Houston's anime scene back then.
Yeah, these days now, pretty much a lot of people are doing streaming. A lot of streaming like Crunchyroll, Funimation. They
Mhm.
had a studio in Dallas, I believe. Now that they completely merged with Crunchyroll, so I guess it's a Crunchyroll studio now. I haven't checked yet. I have to check. But yeah, so nowadays it's like a lot of streaming these days. Even I think Disney's starting to get into the anime scene with the Star Wars Visions. I remember. And I think and then you have like a lot of like Hulu, a lot of people Netflix, they're seeing like, oh, there's a market for it for like anime. They're really
Right.
seeing the market for it. So here we
Right.
are
All the
now.
Yeah, all of the streaming platforms, of course, have those sub areas. Like you said, Crunchyroll is really the largest space of getting the simulcast and the different types of anime. In fact, it really behooves individuals to have many different streaming platforms to be able to keep up with things. For example, The Adventures of Kai. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
I'm
Uh,
I'm I'm familiar with those ones at least. Like some of the older animes because of my dad. Like okay, Adventures of Kai. I have I remember some of it. My dad was more of a big like Dragon Ball fan though. So there's
mm,
that.
Yeah, The Adventures of Kai. I think it's yeah. This is a little bit older, but they start showing. I don't know if they just refreshed it or revamped it some on Netflix. But then if you go to Hulu, You have the rest of the series because it's 50 different episodes, but the first 25 on Netflix. You go to Hulu, you have all 50. So you have to kind of
It's so
part and
funny.
parcel.
It's the same thing right now with One Piece. I would say right now, if you go on Netflix, they have like all the way until the pre-time skip, the end of the
They're
first.
still adding more.
Yeah, and then they skipped all the way over to like the current arc right now. So it was like pretty much over 500 episodes missing in Netflix right
On
now.
Netflix.
So everything you have to
Right.
find it on Crunchyroll. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and see, I've had an opportunity to go back because, to be honest with you, it's been about 6 or 7 years, or maybe more, since I watched One Piece. Because I watched it probably on episode 500 or something like that. It's been a while since
It's
I've
getting
watched.
good. It's getting good.
Yeah, no,
There's
it's.
it's getting good. You should definitely watch the live action as a refresh though. It's really
Oh,
good.
no, I watched it. I saw the live action. I thought people didn't like it, but I thought it was great. But a lot of folks I talked to didn't really seem to gravitate towards it. But people, different strokes to different folks. I like it though.
Yeah,
It was pretty
as a
nice.
One Piece fan, like who grew up with the anime for like 10 years, not 10 years, 7 years actually. I'm like, oh, it has the spirit pretty much. So I'm like, okay, I'm like, okay, you know what? I like the anime. There's like a few things they could tweak other than that, but it's like other than that, it's like it's good. It's really good, and I'm waiting for like the
Right.
second season that's gonna air. No, they're gonna like start filming like, this year, I believe. So
This year.
I'm excited, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. They did a great job, and they spent a lot of money on that. So I think over $100 million budget. I remember reading somewhere. So yeah, that's yeah. I like One Piece a lot. Like I said, I like episodic types of anime.
Yeah. And I have a question for another question for you. You go to conventions, all these events, because being like an old school anime fan, you go to any of those events and conventions, pretty much.
No,
No,
No.
not
no,
even
not at all.
one.
No, no, I've never been to any convention. That's really not my thing. I'm more, I'm from Houston,
Mm,
but I'm probably the most unconventional anime fan. I was deeply into the music scene, so I'm
Mm.
connected with some of the most recognizable music figures. Not Diddy, so that don't since not him, but I know a lot of famous people. So although I watched a lot of anime and I liked it a lot, the majority of the things I did back then had to do with rap music or R&B, and being in that world while I was teaching as a professor, and also while I was a teenager.
mm,
So conventions, I've never gone to any of those. However, my niece, who's a senior in high school, has asked me to take her to one,
mm.
which I probably will. But I did have a student about, guess it's been about 10 years now, who dressed up as the White Power Ranger. I,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
and say I don't like the Power Rangers. For me, it was goofy because I was in college, like you guys are now at the time, so it wasn't something that appealed to me. But for his generation and maybe even yours, it's a thing. And I remember him talking about going to these conventions. In fact, I have a nephew that goes to an anime slash, and this is his term, not mine, nerd convention. It's called Blurred Con or something. I've never heard of it,
Word
but it's
con.
Blurred Con. I think that's what he said. But he goes every single year and it has to do with anime, music, and I think it focuses on persons of color. I think the BL stands for black, but I've never gone with him, but I know that he talks to me about it a lot. So there's definitely a space out there, and I'm sure I will get to one. But no, I don't cosplay. I don't. No,
Like,
I'm pretty
This year we're going
conservative
to.
in that sense.
yeah.
This year, we're hosting a panel at Comic Palooza since Comic Palooza
Oh,
invited
cool.
us, so we will be hosting a
Oh,
panel at Comic Palooza this year.
Yeah, I'm like there's several panels I think we're doing as a club. I think we're doing like probably 3 or 4 panels at least.
Right? Yeah.
Where our podcast of course is gonna be there. Then
I think there's a gaming one.
there's gonna be I'm hosting a One Piece panel because One Piece
there
fan
you
over here, cosplayer over
go.
here, One Piece cosplayer
All right.
specifically, and I'm gonna and then there's another panel that's gonna be another gaming panel, which is pretty much like the isekais, right? Pretty much like
Hmm.
transport another world. Pretty much we're doing like pretty much like, oh, you died. you got transported to you pretty much got transported to like our village, like
Right.
survive like a club meeting of our village pretty much. And then there's another one
Right.
that's pretty much like learning about like how to start up your own anime club in your community pretty much. So it's a lot of we're
Oh,
gonna be doing a lot of that.
that sounds good. Keep me informed. You got my information. If I'm able to, I would definitely come by Comic Palooza. I've never been to that. I've seen it many times. Out there. Um, so that there's not. Again, my niece. I'm sure I will be at something. And let me know, and I'll make sure that I show up with her
There are a lot of.
because she's deeply into anime.
Does she have any favorites that you know of?
Oh, definitely. Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer.
Yeah, yeah. That's her favorite. She loves Demon Slayer, Tokyo Revengers. Uh, I've been trying to get her into One Piece and a few others that I like in particular, but she's very um just stuck on Demon Slayer. I like it. She likes was it Juju?
Jujutsu
Jujutsu
Kaisen.
Kaisen.
Yeah, yeah. She likes that. Um, because I take her sometimes, with rides with me to the mall, and we go to different stores like FYE and Katie. They have an interesting selection of anime type of paraphernalia, and then we'll go by H Mart, which is located conveniently across the street from our Katy campus. And H Mart and that's not necessarily for the anime, but it's an Asia town. So it's an Asian supermarket. So some of the things that she sees in the anime is like, these are real foods. These are real things. So she gets to see if she really wants to try some of those things, like authentic ramen. I took her to a couple of places out, and I live in the Katy area.
Mm.
So I took her to a couple of places out there, and she really enjoyed it because I know, again, um, you guys, your generation, you like Boruto, like you said, the Hidden Leaf Village people. I get the references, so ramen is a big part of that culture, and I understand
Yeah. You like there's a couple conventions I would recommend I have in mind since I was like I'm just broke. But like pretty much
it.
I'm like there's a couple conventions I know that's happening this year. Um I mean, there's go like besides Comic Palooza, that's like from May,
That's
late May,
May.
24th to 27th. That's Comic
Mhm.
Palooza. Then I know there's like Anime Houston. That's
Yep.
Anime Houston. That's like a smaller convention, I'd say. I think a bunch of voice actors and like voice actor directors they go to that convention. They kind of the ones who created the convention because they didn't like Matsuri, anime Matsuri, and
Hmm.
if you know like since you're in Houston, you probably know the history of the interesting history of anime Matsuri, probably one of the most controversial anime conventions in the U.S. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
still go because the community.
Yeah, in fact, it's funny that you're mentioning the names of these conventions. Last year, because I was looking to take my niece, I'm familiar with each one because I started looking up all of these conventions. So that's the only reason I'm even familiar with all of these names of these conventions, because I actually looked to see which convention was going on at the time in which she wanted to go, and we couldn't find any at that time. But I saw all of those: the Anime Matsuri, the Houston, the comic, all of those. Now, my daughter went to one. I'm not sure if it was anime, but I definitely know that they had cosplay at it. And I'm thinking, well, I don't know because it was anime. Um, I forgot what she dressed up as, but her friend dressed up as one of the Ghostbusters. And I remember seeing that, which
Mm.
was interesting to me, but an interesting choice, for an anime convention to dress up as
I
one of
mean,
the Ghostbusters.
there's a cartoon. There's a cartoon. I
Yeah,
think there's like a whole thing. There's two different Ghostbusters series, but like because they had naming rights issues, so like one of them's called the Real Ghostbusters, and one of them's called like Ghostbusters. So there's
right.
that. Um, I know like the as for like guests this year for Comic Palooza that we're coming up. I know there's gonna be a panel. I think there's gonna be a panel related to Spike's family. That's the new like Spice of Life. They're having a movie or
Yeah, movie.
yeah, it's a movie. It's a big movie. So like a whole like the voice actors are gonna be going there. I know
Oh,
last
cool.
year we had the One Piece panel, so there was that.
Right. Oh, excellent, excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So, and what about you, young man? I haven't heard you say much. What are you
Sorry,
into?
because she's been talking. So
sorry, my bad.
I
No, you
haven't been to
good?
any conventions yet, so this is gonna be my first convention going to Comic Palooza. So
Hmm.
I'm actually going. I'm pretty excited to go into Comic Palooza. I've been wanting to go to convention since last year, but I didn't have like the time to go. So I am hoping to, help you with the podcast panel as well as any others. I mostly watch, I guess. Well, I finished Death Note, but right now
Oh,
currently just
excellent.
watching like I finished Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga was my favorite.
You watched it?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Have you seen Baki?
Yes, I've seen Baki. I heard they were announcing like some sort of crossover between Baki and Ashura.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they that makes a lot of sense because it's
Oh,
almost it's parallel narratives, almost like what is that? Fairy tale is almost identical to I forgot the name of the series. It's another series that's so much like fairy tale that I'm
Fairy
just
Tail.
not it's not coming to mind. But Baki and Ashura, I could see the parallel
Because there's
between the
gonna be
two.
like I think there's gonna be like a crossover fight, so they're gonna both be fighting each other. But there's a
Mhm.
crossover coming over for that one.
Yeah, because Ashura didn't that think or it's Kinshura, right? Is it Kinshura or
Kenshiro,
Ashura?
yeah,
Because
Kenshiro Ashura.
Kinshura, because he the son and the father he beat the son beat the father in the last episode that I saw that I
Mm.
remember on the Kinshura, and then on the Baki, I just think oh, and you also have the other one that's there called is it Guards of War? Is it Guards of
oh, Gods of
Ragnarok?
War. Yeah, yeah.
Ragnarok. No, Guards of
Ragnarok,
War is not
Ragnarok,
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. Now, Guards of War is something total. That's a game. But yeah, Gods of Ragnarok. That I think too it works into that same type of genre.
You've
But
heard
let me
of
ask you guys this.
Sinbad?
Oh, go ahead.
You heard of
Hmm?
Sinbad? I think it's
Yes,
called.
yes. Sinbad was excellent too. Sinbad reminds me. That's kind of like where, in my opinion, One Piece has gone. Because if you started One Piece from episode one, if as a young adult or an adult, you feel kind of weird because it's a children's show.
Mhm.
But as it matures, then it starts getting into all of these different narratives about God and you go to heaven and this, that, and hell. And I think Sinbad could easily fit into that same type of narrative somewhere within that trajectory of the entire development of the One Piece, episodes and saga. But Sinbad, I think, is a great series also. Yeah, I've seen probably more anime than you guys could name. I've
I've
seen
watched at least
thousands,
200,000.
Thousand.
thousands. I started in the 90s.
Oh
It's
Oh
yeah.
wow.
2024.
Oh,
So, and so in the mid 90s, so 95, 96, it's a long time to be watching some anime, almost 30 years.
yeah.
So, I mean, to say anime as a genre itself. So I've seen Trigun. I mean, I have
Cowboy Bebop.
until streaming. Go ahead.
You said Cowboy Bebop. You seen that too?
Yeah, yeah. You probably. Now, I don't like everything. Like I don't like mecha anime. That doesn't
Ah.
really speak to me. Yeah, it's not my big like Gundam. Nah, I'm good. You can miss me with that. But yeah, Gundam. I don't want to see any of those. Um, but you do have versions of that, like I think it's called Megalobox or something like
Oh
that
yeah,
I thought was good,
Megalobox.
which is
I feel like that definitely probably be perfect for old schoolers.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So but see, I wouldn't consider myself an old school anime person. I would consider myself more so just like anime. So I've just watched it for a long time. I really watched more of the more up to date, like what is that? One I really like is how I was reincarnated as a slime or something along those lines.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that
so
one. Uh,
yeah, so I watch. Yeah, go ahead.
oh no, no, you go ahead. My bad.
No, I'm saying like every. I don't watch a lot of television or movies, but when I do watch things, it's 99% anime. Yeah, so I'm pretty much up on most anime that's out now. That's what I watch, but it's just, and I'm not a person who goes back and rewatches things either. So I watch it once and that's it. I probably would never see it again. So, but I remember a lot of it.
Um, what do you think is your like since you said you watch a lot of anime lately. What do you think is any like pretty much most recent like I know there's I haven't been watching
Eh,
really anime that much too much lately other than like One Piece and that one the Fearin the elf girl.
Farron?
Yeah, yeah. So like you're watching you any watching
Yeah,
like any
well,
recent anime?
yeah, The Adventures of Kai is pretty new. Like if you go back, it just came out on streaming. So recently, I watched The Adventures of Kai, the most updated versions of the Seven Deadly Sins saga. Been caught up on that. I've seen, like I was saying, like my niece, the Demon Slayer. Um, you name. I watch all kinds of things out there. Seis Manos is one that came out in the last few years that I thought was good. It was based upon some Spanish things. So, and you may even want to start, you guys as a club may even look at some of the Korean anime. I know one from back in the day was Red Hawk. Red Hawk was pretty good. It's a martial arts based anime. Um, because the Korean anime, and I've been watching a lot of Korean movies too, or television, so I've seen those. But Adventures of Kai is the most recent episodic anime that I've sat back and watched, and I thought it was really well done. But many of those, it's the same. It's no different from Black Clover. It's no different from. It's the same series. I mean, it's the same narrative, just with different folks, different planet, different whatever. It's but it's pretty much the same story being retold, like you just said a moment ago about elves and sorcerers and fairies and then they may take it to another planet and now you have a person who's in an army and this so it's the same characters and I'm trying to remember fairy tale it's an anime that's identical to fairy tale that I don't remember what it was but it's two anime that and fairy tale and something else are pretty much the same and it's a third one where it's the same characters from fairy tale but transported to a different place.
Your time's supposed to be running up. But thank you so much, Desmond.
Thank you
For
so much.
like thank you so much. You have any like no social media, of course, or like anything you want to promote or anything like that about yourself, or just like I'm the chancellor. Like I mean, I'm
No,
the
no, no, no,
associate
no,
chancellor.
no. No, I don't have social media. I'm not on social media at all. But what I can tell you all is this: is that one of the things with anime, I do agree with you. It's a way to build belonging. It's a way to feel as though you're a part of something larger. You two may even want to reach out to Dean Annie Sue and see how you can work your club into the structure of the Asian Culture Club. We have an Asian Culture Club here too that can. As you talk about anime and place that within the context of Asian culture and place that within a bigger sphere. But what I want to say to everyone out there, you guys keep positive, keep doing what you're doing, be yourselves, and know there's a place for each and every person here at HCC. And if I could ever be of any assistance, give me a call. My name is Desmond Lewis. So, you guys, thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
and thank you for watching us
Thank
for
you
the
for
club
watching us.
today. News are going to be coming soon. Follow us on our Instagram on A-Leaf Anime Village. Yeah. So thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
All right, y'all take it easy.
You
Bye
You
take
bye.
it
too.
easy.
You
Bye.
guys
Bye.
did great. Okay, bye bye.